far too many come up with an eating plan, a diet, if you want to call it that, a way to lose the weight they need to lose, and then they quit. They can't stick to it. So we're going to discuss 4 big reasons why that's happening, probably to you. You probably will fall in one or multiple of these reasons. And then also we're going to kick you in the rear of how to stick to it and lose the weight you need to lose. Is that fair to say, Trainer Joe?
Yeah, we'll kick him in the rear.
Good. Well, let's get going.
Nice kick in the rear, though.
What's number?
Gentle.
Are we ready for number 1?
Yep.
Go for it.
Number 1, it's harder for you than most people. And that's either real or perceived, which there's not a lot of difference. Perception is reality, right? If you feel like, man, this is harder. I got to work twice as hard as my sister. You know, if she does what I do, she loses all the weight she wants. But when I do it...
Which very well could be the reality.
Could be reality.
They have to work harder.
That's just, yes.
So you hear us? You hear Trainer Joe admitting that.
Yeah, I would
Some
admit,
people maybe are surprised to hear you say that.
It is harder for some people than others, no doubt. And in reality, there is... Everything's got a trade-off. Not everybody's going to decide it's worth it. And I'm not here to condemn that person. You may decide it's not worth it. It's too hard. For some people, it is just harder. But what I do stand on is, well, it was possible. It was just too hard for you. You decided it was too hard. Okay, so I may sound like you don't have any compassion. It was so hard for this person. What do you mean I don't have compassion? I don't have compassion because I agree with people and say it was impossible when it wasn't. Yeah. It was just too hard because, and that's what we're getting into, how to deal with that. Because somebody has a slower metabolism than you. Is it harder for them? Probably. Somebody had a different upbringing than you. Is it harder? Probably. Mm-hmm. Somebody has health issues. Is it harder? Probably.
Their whole family is overweight.
Their whole family's overweight.
Is it really harder? Have to go against the grain, where another person's family dynamics are much better and more conducive. All of these things, it's the reality, but the larger reality is you can.
What does that person need to do?
You can lose the weight. You just may have to.
What are some tips for the person that it really is harder for them? They have family, all these things we just mentioned.
Read a
all
book.
That's going on in their life.
Read a book on mental toughness and that you are an overcomer.
Okay, you brought up you are an overcomer, and I had that in my notes. I wanted to mention that because I do think that's a big one. In Romans 8:37, it says, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." And I've asked the question before in my groups, because in my groups, we have people from everywhere and all backgrounds. Some are Christians, some are not. And I asked them, have you ever prayed before about anything? Your mom was in ICU, whether you're a believer or not. Did you pray? And if you've ever prayed for anything, how about praying for this? Because I've talked to even my wife, who would admit she's struggled over the years with this. And she's like, I've never prayed about this. And she prays about everything.
She does.
Why wouldn't we pray about it?
She does.
And that's going to get into number 2.
Okay, well, let's move on to number 2. But the last thing I'll say on number 1, I set my new screensaver. It's Michael Jordan holding the basketball, and it says "outwork everyone." If you have that mindset, like I'm doing it to competitive pickleball. As funny as that sounds, that's my mindset. Outwork everyone. You can have that with weight loss, and then it doesn't really matter.
Outwork everyone.
If your journey's
Seems
harder.
unfair that you had to outwork so many people. Yeah, it's good. I like that.
Can be the choice that you make. Number 2 reason why you keep quitting your diet or your weight loss plan. What do you got, Trainer Joe?
I apologize, but one last thing on number 1.
Okay.
Is this. Who's writing books about people that had it easy?
Yeah, those are boring books.
Boring books. We want to hear from the person that had a hard life and it was hard for them and they had medical issues and they still did it. Yeah. That's who has the testimony. So
be inspired.
That's number 1.
Be inspired and be the inspiration to others.
Number 2, it's just not a big enough problem. I'd like to weigh less, but it's not that big a deal, right? And until your condition strikes you as severe, the solution will seem extreme. So if it's just not that big a deal...
Let's be real, guys. Let's be real with ourselves.
So
you might act
30 pounds overweight. Who cares? Yeah, I'd like to not be, but sacrifice to lose it? Not quite sure that's going to happen. Yeah. If it just happens, I'll be happy. But I'm not actually going to sacrifice anything. If there's a diet that's kind of fun for a while, I'll try that. But once it's hard, It just doesn't make sense anymore to keep going because it's not that big a deal. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think that's happening to a lot of people, more people than would like to admit. What's your quote about stop making goals?
And set a standard.
Set a standard.
Yeah. How important is it? If the first 10 pounds didn't bother you, why is the next 10? I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about the 600-pound life, people that weigh 600, 700 pounds.
Well, we talked about it in our last video.
Yes.
Our last video. Go back and watch that one because it's. I think it's a really good video talking about she finally lost it.
Yes.
We
Yeah, the
dive into
sisters.
that.
The 1,000-pound sisters.
Oh, 1,000-pound sisters. Not 600-pound life, 1,000-pound sisters.
Similar.
Yeah, similar.
So this guy was like, how do people get to that place? And I'm like, first 10 pounds didn't bother him. Yeah. Well, why would you stop eating if it's fun, it's not immoral, and you can afford it? Why would you quit? No matter how big you get, until you get so big that you are finally, for lack of a different word, disgusted. This is disgusting.
Disgusted.
If 10 don't disgust you, 20 probably won't. So I think part of that problem is it's just not a big enough problem.
It almost makes me want to say, like, you know, you may, I could lose 20 pounds. Sure, I'm going to go on a diet. Go ahead and save yourself the trouble and don't even try. Because
forget it.
Once it starts getting hard, if really deep down the 20 pounds doesn't bother you that much, you're not going to lose it.
That's right. Wait until there's tears in your eyes. Then come talk to me, because it is work. And it's rather challenging for anybody that finds themselves heavier than they want to be. Something happened, right? And for people that don't find themselves there, they might say, well, this is easy. But when you suddenly find yourself 30, 50 pounds, you're obese or morbidly obese, it's not going to be that easy to get back to where you once were, where you want to be. Mm-hmm. So if it's not bothering you that much, don't start yet. Just wait until you're really irritated.
But we're here to say, get back there. Like, it can be done. It's gonna take a little work, but you can do it. You can lose that weight.
Yeah. If you've never prayed and said, God, please help me with this, you're probably not going to be willing to make too many sacrifices.
Interesting.
Well, think of an alcoholic. You know, and they finally get to the place where they're going to AA. What do you think they've probably been grueling over this, and the family, and everybody's been talking about it, and this is a big deal, yet we want to lose 50 pounds. Nobody's ever said anything.
Even 100 pounds.
They'd be too embarrassed to say anything. Even 100 pounds, you're like, I wonder if I should ever do anything about this. Yet, your friend who drinks too much goes every day to AA.
Protect the microphone.
Protect.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
90 days in a row. But 100 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, everybody. I mean, look at my friend Rhoda over there. She's bigger than me.
She's bigger than me.
She's still alive. I ain't worried about it.
No one's getting on
look,
her.
That guy weighs 500 pounds. I only weigh 380. He still walks, kinda.
Okay, wow. All right. Number 3 reason.
Life is short. Eat the cake.
That's a big one. Oh, that's a tough one, Trainer Joe.
Why would I want to miss out? Life's short. Eat the cake. Buy the shoes. Eat the cake. Fun slogan.
I was about to say, you don't necessarily hear people saying that, but you see it in their lifestyle. But then I was like, wait a minute. I actually do hear people saying that.
They actually do say it.
Literally,
with
as
a
they're
smile
about
on their face and with passion.
As they're about to eat the cake.
With passion.
That everyone that kind of knows, like, you probably don't need to be doing this.
I'm not going to deprive myself. And maybe yesterday they said, I really need to do better. And then that cake's here. And
they make the joke about it.
And it's an atmosphere and like, what was I thinking? That I was going to deny myself.
Life is short.
This part of my life. Life is short.
Bring it on, baby.
O-L-O.
Put it in my gullet.
YOLO. YOLO. YOLO.
There you go. Not the fat blob.
YOLO.
Not the fat blob.
I'm kidding. Come on. We could do this and not have any fun. If that's what you want, put it on there. But I ain't
a more
gonna
serious
do it.
podcast.
Find somebody. Find a doctor serious.
Doesn't get
sorry.
edgy. That doesn't get fun and edgy. This is Unfiltered. This is Trainer Joe Unfiltered. And
we remove the filters. What that means?
we remove them.
There is no. Believe it or not, there is no screen.
Believe it or not, this is not AI.
We are not. We actually look like this.
This is real. We're real.
This is real.
The crazy thing is,
I do not have an anti-wrinkle screen. What do you call them? Filter on my phone. This is real. So here we go.
The reality is, so many people think like this, but then you actually observe them throughout a week span, and they do want to lose weight. But then you watch them indulging, and they make comments like this: "Well, life is short. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go."
Look at Rhoda. You know, I'm way better than her.
Can we snap out of this?
This is not normal, and I think our culture has normalized 50 pounds. Throw a big old 50-pound bag of potatoes over your shoulder and go live your life. That's normal to be walking around. 50 pounds overweight is 10 of these. 10 of these fat blobs that tons of people, the majority of people think, I'm just husky.
I'm husky.
No, you're not. That's not normal. It's crazy. And because I think that way, I'm not 50 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
And because you think that way, you're not 50 pounds overweight. People will get irritated with me because they're like, well, you've never been heavy. And I'm like, darn right I have never been heavy. Why would I have ever been heavy if I have the mindset that thinks it's crazy? Does that mean I think you don't deserve help and compassion and love and friendship and all that? No, I want to be that guy. I want to be your friend. Not feeling sorry for you. I'm no better than you. I have problems probably as serious as yours that I've had to work through and deal with in the same way you're going to have to work through and deal with this. And you know who I looked for to help me with those problems? People that didn't have that problem.
Interesting.
Because I want that mindset. My mindset's screwed up. An addict by themselves is not in good company.
Interesting.
You need a different way of looking at it and thinking. Which is one of the big problems is for people that are stuck, they refuse to change their thinking. Yeah. They're like, the way I think, I'm never going to change that. You got to change your thinking and get with somebody that can help you do that.
Well, that's one of the things I like.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of us.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things I like about your videos. I mean, yes, your 21-day transformation really deals with this a lot, as well as the practical side. But your videos deal more with the way we think than a lot of other programs and YouTube channels.
Yeah,
podcasts.
that's our emphasis. And a quote I heard the other day. Yeah, that's true. On the back of every excuse is a lack of desire, because we're talking about number 2 here, which is it's not a big enough problem. So anything that comes along, if it's not a big problem, is a legitimate excuse. So we can say, oh, well, you know, for the weather, look at this weather. I can't lose weight in this weather. Yeah. Anything will work when it's just not that important to you.
We've kind of discussed that already. And not a big enough problem. Yeah. Well, I think this moves right into number 4.
All right.
It's got,
number 3.
Number 4. We're in number 4.
Oh, I've been going all over. You're right. We did already discuss it. I went back to number 2. Sorry about that.
You're just ready to
go for an hour and a half. Still on the verge of rude, but yes, I did. I did go back. Sorry about that. This is going to be our longest podcast ever. You're welcome.
No, it won't. All right. Number 4. What do you got for number 4?
Not enough engagement. No, I'm sorry. Not enough encouragement / coaching.
You got YouTube analytics on the brain.
Yeah.
Engagement.
Not enough encouragement / coaching. What do you think of that? People get so close and they're doing a program, and 3 days in, 5 days in, they quit. Mm-hmm. And we haven't talked about, well, what program is the best, because that's not really what we're talking about today. Yeah. It's whatever program you chose, why did you quit?
Many programs could work.
And again, many would work, and you're going to have excuses for whichever one you quit doing. Now, you could say it was the program, okay. Find one that 10 million people have done and it worked, okay, then don't say it's the program, okay? So, not enough. You are trying to go it alone.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that forever. You're kind of a loner. I want to do it by myself. I don't want help. I don't want to be in this group forever.
We think we're stronger than we are, or we like the feeling of being like, look what I can do without needing a lot of outside help.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I played pickleball with a lady yesterday.
Okay.
Wonderful lady.
Absolutely.
Has been on one of the medications.
Okay.
She probably wants to lose a significant amount of weight, and I think she said in the last 3 months she lost 7 pounds, and she's taking a medication.
Does that not impress you much?
Like, bro, I mean,
Doesn't impress
you can do
Trainer
that with
Joe?
a placebo. I mean, it is not happening
Trainer Joe's not impressed.
when that's going on. So, and I'm like, I didn't mention doing my program. She asked about it. I didn't mention it, but I'm like, you ain't going to lose 7 pounds in 3 months with me because it means you haven't locked in any fashion. I don't care what is going on in your life. 7 pounds in 3 months?
Oh, hold up.
Ain't
So you're going to have somebody that watches this that is like,
That's good, slow weight
that's
loss.
me. That's me. I'm happy that I am on the right track, and I've lost 7 pounds in 3 months.
If you got 10 to lose, that's fine. If you got 50, 80 to lose, it ain't happening.
So you're kind of just slapping some people right now.
I'll slap that right out of your mouth. 7 pounds in 3 months you're not locked in. Now, am I going to say that it's impossible that that's going to work for you? Probably, but I'm not saying that. Go ahead. Go another 3 months. If you lose 7 more pounds, I kind of doubt it, especially if you're taking the medication that's got side effects and you're not sure you like it anyway. You really going to keep doing that? You really going to keep taking this medication that in the news every day something wrong with people taking it and how it's hurting them? You're going to keep doing that? Losing. Now, if she'd have lost 7 pounds every 2 weeks, okay, yeah, keep going. That seems to be working for you, but not that. So anyway, that's...
Man. So
Well, do you disagree with that?
No, I agree with you. Are you saying that she needs to be in a program with encouragement?
I would just say that ain't working. So yeah, if she was in a program, mine, she would be with other people and she would be encouraged to do what needs to be done. She's not doing what needs to be done. She's taking this medication and hoping that her weight comes off.
It's fascinating.
My perspective.
It is fascinating when you're trying to achieve a goal and you suddenly put yourself where there's other people that are on that path and doing well. It just does something in the human,
Really does.
the heart of a man.
You realize this can be done.
Yeah.
Because you're cynical going into it. Most people are. I've tried it. I'll see what happens. And then you see Johnny over here and Susie over there, and they're both, I'm 50 pounds down. I've been doing this 3 months, 4 months. And you're like, what? It took me 8 years at this pace to do it.
And working with you in the past, and I've seen that. I've seen how their hope comes alive when they're in the group and they're hearing these other people that are just like them.
Because they're stuck.
Just like them.
They're stuck in their loop of the way they think. And it never changes until they get jarred in something. They're like, oh, you mean I was wrong in thinking that the way I was doing it was going to... Yeah. I was wrong in seeing this
to think
way.
that if I was getting hungry, I needed to eat something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to. And Johnny over here, he's crushing it because he had the mindset change. Now you're learning from Johnny. Johnny learned it from so-and-so. You guys are on the same team. The team dynamics are very important. The encouragement is very important.
Yes, because who doesn't know what they ought to be doing? Who doesn't know?
Most of us do.
So they'll get a plan that incorporates those things they already kind of know, but it's a plan, it's a structure, and they'll go for a day or 2 or 3. They get hungry, the weather changes, they twist their ankle, they have an expense they didn't expect. Well, why would they keep doing it? Unless something's in place, unless they're getting encouraged, unless they've invited somebody into their life. Yeah. And that's when I tell people in my program when we start, can I have your permission to tell you no? Because if you don't let me in, if you don't let me partake in this with you, you're just going to do your thing again. And so I ask permission. May I have permission to be your accountability friend? Do I have your permission to tell you no when you ask me, hey, can I have this? I want to know ahead of time. Can I tell you no? Because a lot of people that struggle don't want to hear no.
Hey, if you want to hear no, if you want to hear no from Trainer Joe, if that's something that you actually want, which it may be, you might want to be like, I need this kick in the pants. If you want to hear no from Trainer Joe, 21-day transformation, the link is below. Jump in to the upcoming group and get part of that team.
I like saying yes to that.
Become part of that team. Immerse yourself in part of that team that's kicking some butt.
Yeah, jump on in now.
But comment below, you guys. Let us know. I was particularly curious what your all's thoughts were on which one stood out to you and perhaps which one convicted you the most. There's a good comment below.
Out of these 4?
Out of these 4. I thought that the life is short, eat cake. I guess my question to you, and just, it's honesty in this comment section. Well, how do you handle it? Have you been the one that said that? Have you been the one that said that?
Is that you?
In the last month? because I've definitely heard it. And when I hear
I think I heard you say it.
and when I see the people that are laughing about it as they say it, and they're taking in food they don't need to be eating, sweets they don't need to be eating, and they're laughing and making a joke
Because
of
they don't
it.
want to feel convicted. They don't want to feel judged. They don't want to feel shame. So it's like, how can I avoid all that? Just embrace it.
But has that
it's life short. Oh, come on.
Has that been you?
It's kind of like in college when everybody was going out. Let's just go party, but I got a calculus test tomorrow. Come on,
Yeah.
let's just go.
It's easier to
have
make a
some
joke
fun
about it.
and
Life
make a
is
joke about it.
short, so bring on the cake. Have you been the one that has said that? And hopefully, are you having that tweak, that conviction of, you know what? I'm not going to joke about that anymore. I'm actually going to kick some butt and lose the weight. Let us know, guys. We love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Until
Appreciate you.
our next video. Train a Joe. Train your brain.
And transform your body.